Hello children, good morning everybody. Welcome to our channel is Smart Study. Today I am going to discuss third lesson. By the previous class we have completed first lesson and second lesson, right? Now your third lesson name is rocks and soil. Okay? Do you know what is meant by rocks? రాళ్ళు అంటాం కదా నాన్న, దోస్ ఆర్ ఓన్లీ నథింగ్ బట్ రాక్స్. సాయిల్ అంటే మట్టి. ఓకే, బిఫోర్ స్టార్టింగ్ ద లెసన్ దే హ్యావ్ గివెన్ సమ్ యాక్టివిటీ ఫర్ అస్ హియర్. వి షల్ see here what they have given. Tick the things needed for growing the plants. Okay, for the growth of plants whatever are needed they are asking to tick. If they are useful, tick them. If are not useful, no need to tick. First one is soil. Yes, without soil can plants grow? No, soil is needed, so I am ticking. Next one is sunlight. Yes, plants should grow means they need the sunlight. Third one is what? Rock. We don't want rocks for growing the plants. ఓకే, రాళ్ళు అవసరం లేదు కదా. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లాస్టిక్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ నాట్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ గ్రోయింగ్ ద ప్లాంట్స్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ వాటర్. ఎస్, వీ నీడ్ వాటర్. ఇఫ్ యూ pour water only plants will grow healthily and properly. Next one is wind. Wind means one thing but air. If the air moves fastly, that is only nothing but wind. So we need wind also for growing the plants. Okay, next. Soil is home to many small animals like insects and earthworms. Plants also grow in the soil. Means what? Yes or no? Many insects, small insects and earthworms, where they will live? Every animal, the small animals will live in the soil. Yes or no? This is the home for all this type of animals, and plants also grow in the soil. Okay, this is the soil, matti. In this all some small animals and plants, everything will be growing in the soil. That is why soil is the home for many plants and animals. Okay, next. Now we shall see how this soil forms. That means formation of soil. Okay, how will the soil form? We shall see. First I will read the para, then I will explain you. If I read this para while you are reading the lesson again and again, if you are not understood any spelling, if you listen to my audio in this class, that is in this video, you can get it. Okay, first one, what is there children? See, soil is formed by breaking of rocks. Okay, how this soil will be formed is by breaking of the rocks. Big stones, rocks will be there. Now by breaking these, soil will be formed. Next, the rocks break due to the heat of the sun and the force of the water, wind and ice. Just now I told, no, if we break the rocks we will get the soil. Then how will these rocks break? Means by the heat of the sun. Okay, so from the sun will get more heat, sun every day. By that heat, and in the near the sea source, like that water will be there. No, by that force of water, wind, that means air. If the air comes fastly, that is called wind, I told. And also due to the ice. Due to all these conditions, the rocks will be breaking. So when these rocks break, soil will be formed. Okay, next, over a period of time, the continuous breaking of the rocks changes into a powder substance called the soil. Like this, continuously, due to the heat of the sun and the force of the water, wind and ice, this process repeats continuously. After some days, what will happen means all the rocks which are breaked will change into a powder like substance called soil. How soil will be there? It will be like big stones? No, small sand type will be there. No, all dust particles, everything will be there. How this soil is formed means by the breaking of the rocks. How these rocks will be breaked? I told, due to the sunlight, force of water, wind, ice. Due to these all conditions, the rocks will be breaked and the soil will be formed. This process of breaking down of the rocks only is called as the weathering of the rocks. Okay, till now whole process I told, know how the rocks will break and form into soil, and this process only is nothing but what it is called, weathering of rocks. Okay, so simply how we can say, the process of breaking down of rocks, okay, by the heat of the sun, force of water, wind and ice, is called as the weathering of rocks. This is important. They'll ask what is meant by weathering of rocks. What you should say? Nothing but the process of breaking down of rocks due to the heat of the sun, water, wind and ice, and the formation of soil is called as the weathering of rocks. Understood till here? Next, the formation of a soil is very slow process. Yes, these rocks are immediately changing into the soil. No, it is taking a very long process. How sunlight should come, yes or no, heat it will absorb, and it need water, wind, ice. By taking all these conditions, it will slowly that rocks will break, and lastly it will form into soil. So this process whole is going very slowly. That is why this weathering of rocks process is a very slow process. That is, forming of the soil is a very slow process. I am explaining you again. You see here, nothing is there. Here they have shown us how the soil is formed. What you should say, how the soil will be formed means, it will be formed by the rocks. If we break the rocks, we will get the soil. We will break the rocks? No. How it will break? By the heat of the sun, force of water, wind and ice. The rocks will be breaked slowly and then forms into soil. So if they ask for you what is weathering of rocks means, you should say the process of breaking down of rocks due to the heat of the sun, water, wind, ice and forming into soil is called as the weathering of the rocks. And they'll ask for you, this formation of soil is a slow process or fast process. You should say it is a very slow process, because slowly the rocks are changing into soil, no. So the formation of a soil is a very slow process. Okay. Next point, when plants and animals die, 1 minute. When plants and animals die, their bodies decay and mix with the soil. This forms what is called as the humus. Means what, children? See, in the nature, what are many plants and animals will be there on earth. Yes or no? When these plants and animals die, where they will be going? Into the earth only they will be mixing. No, their bodies decay and mix with the soil. Okay, decay means what? Decomposing. Kullipoinavi antam kada. So whatever plants and animals die, again they will be going and mixing with the soil only. Soil ante matti. Okay, ఈ చనిపోయిన ప్లాంట్స్ యానిమల్స్ అన్నీ కూడా మట్టిలో కలిసిపోతాయి. సో దిస్ వన్ ఓన్లీ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ వాట్? నథింగ్ బట్ హ్యూమస్. ఓకే, వాట్ ఎవర్ ప్లాంట్స్ అండ్ యానిమల్స్ ఆర్ డీకేయింగ్ and mixing with the soil is called as the humus. What is the spelling of humus, children? Humus. Okay, they'll ask what is humus. Okay, all the plants and animals which are decayed and mixed with the soil are called as the humus. Okay, next point, the soil is made up of two main parts, tiny pieces of rocks and the humus. So how this soil is made? Everywhere we are using the soil. No, how it will come means, mainly from two parts it will be coming. First one is what, children? From tiny pieces of rocks. Tiny means small or big? Big. Tiny means very small. Okay, how we'll get the soil means with the small pieces of rocks. This is the first one, small pieces of rocks. And the next one is the humus. Humus means what? I told, nothing but the dead plants and animals. Okay, they also will mix with the soil, no. So because of these tiny pieces of rocks and humus, we will get the soil. Okay, next, the soil with plenty of humus is very good for the growth of plants. Such soil is called as a fertile soil. Plenty means what? More. ఓకేనా, ఎక్కువ, బిగ్, చాలా ఉంటే ప్లెంటీ అంటాం. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ ద సాయిల్ ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ అ మోర్ హ్యూమస్, that plants will be growing very nicely, it's same. Okay, and that type of soil only is called as nothing but fertile soil. See, for example, you take 2 pots. Okay, in one pot whole soil is there, just soil is there. In another pot you take some humus also, that means dead plants and animals, decomposed one will be there, no. And you keep same plants in the 2 pots, which one will be growing faster? You observe. If you observe, the plant which is containing humus, that means dead plants and animals only will grow fastly, and such type of soil is called as fertile soil. Understood? Here what points I told for you? 3 points I told. First one is what? Soil is mainly made up of 2 parts. First one is the tiny pieces of rocks, that means small pieces of rocks, and the next one is the humus. Humus means dead plants and animals. Next point, what did I told? Whatever soil which is having more amount of humus can grow fastly. That type of plants will grow fastly. Which soil is having more humus, that plants will be growing fastly. Next, that type of soil is called what? Fertile soil. For this type of soil they gave one name, that is what? Fertile soil. Okay, Next topic. See here. I am zooming it. Now we shall see about the parts of the soil. See, before learning about the parts of the soil, they have given us some activities. We shall see one after one. See. Let us perform some activities to see what soil contains. In soil, what will be there? We shall see now by doing the activities. First one I am reading out it. Listen children. Take some garden soil. Garden soil means whatever you will keep, no plants in front of a home, anywhere it will be there, no, which we will keep in the garden. You take that some soil and put it in a glass jar. See, they have taken one glass jar and have poured some garden soil into this, if you see in this picture. Next, what they have done, we shall see. Pour some water into the jar. Okay, after pouring some soil into it, and he is pouring some water into the jar. What do you notice? When you pour that water, you observe what is happening in the jar. What is happening, we shall see. When we pour in the garden soil that mud water, what will happen means, you will see the bubbles of air coming out. Bubbles ante budagalu. Yes or no? In the water it will come, no, that one. So you will see the bubbles of air coming out. In this picture, see here mud is there. Here small bubbles are there from the water which are coming out. Why these are coming, we shall see now. This activity shows that there is air inside the soil. By this what we have understood why these air bubbles are coming out means there is air inside our soil. Okay. As the water enters, the air inside the soil escapes out in the form of the air bubbles. Means nothing but children, here first we pour the mud, that is soil, and when we pour water into it, immediately what is happening in the mud, some air will be there, no, whatever air it is there, by pouring the water, the air is coming outside in the form of the air bubbles. From the mud, all the air is coming outside in the form of the air bubbles. By this activity, what we have understood, the the soil is having the air. Okay, if they ask for your soil consists air or not, means you should say air. If they ask how will you show, means you can show this experiment in your home. You can take anything, any jar, and you pour some mud in that, and if you want you can do this activity at your home. Pour some mud, and in that if you pour some water, immediately from that mud some bubbles will be coming outside. Why these are coming? Because in the soil air is present, the air is coming outside in the form of the air bubbles. So by this activity we should understand that soil is containing the air. Okay, soil will have the air. Now moving to the next activity, second activity. See here children, I am reading this. Take some soil in another glass jar. Okay, in one glass jar they have to again soil, not wet one, this one normal soil you should take. After taking, what we should do, we shall see now. Close the jar and place it under the sun for about half an hour. Okay, see in this jar what he have done, he have filled some mud and he kept it under the sunlight for half an hour. We should keep for half an hour, that is 30 minutes you should keep under the sunlight. Next, what do you notice? Then what will happen, you observe, you will see water droplets on the inner side of the glass jar. See, initially, that means firstly when the jar is there, mud is there, it is like this. After half an hour, this is that one only same jar. After half an hour, okay, half hour means 30 minutes. If you observe in this picture, what is happening children, up some dots are there, no, what are all these are the water droplets which are formed inside the glass jar due to the sun's heat, due to that sunlight. After some time all the water are coming outside from the mud, that is soil. Okay, by this what we have understood, the soil also will contain the water. In the above experiment we have seen that soil will have air. In this what did you understood, the soil is also containing water. Yes or no? This activity shows that soil contains water in the form of the moisture. Tadilaga untadi kada nanna, tema like that. Okay, next, as the soil gets heated by the sunlight, the moisture in it changes into the vapors. Yes or no? When we get the sunlight on that jar, what is happening? Whatever water moisture will be there, no, somewhat wet it will be there no in the mud, that hole it is changing into the vapor. Then these vapors get condensed on the sides of the jar as water droplets. All this vapor is changing into what? Water drops. Okay, the process of changing the water vapor into the water drops is called as nothing but condensation. In the previous year only many times we have discussed. Okay, the process of changing water into water vapor is called evaporation. Here water vapor is changing into water, reverse. So water vapor changing into water is called condensation. So due to the condensation, the vapor is changing as water droplets in this jar. Understood? So by this experiment we understood that the mud, that is soil, also contains water. Have you understood this experiment? Once again I am saying these 2 points. The process of changing water to water vapor is called evaporation, and the reverse process, the process of changing water vapor into water, is called as a condensation. So in this picture if you observe what they have done, one jar they have took and they have kept some soil in this, and they have kept it without disturbing for half an hour. After half an hour, what is under the sunlight they kept. Okay, after half an hour, what is happening? Due to the sun's heat, in the mud some moisture will be there. No, due to that moisture it is changing into vapor, and that whole vapor is forming as a water drops on the jar. Okay, on the borders of this jar you can see some dots. These are the water drops. So this process of changing water vapor into water is called as a condensation. Okay, that's why they gave here, these vapors get condensed on the sides of the jar as the water droplets. Okay, now by these 2 activities we have learned. In the first activity that soil contains air, and in the second activity we have seen that soil will also contain the water. Next one, besides air and water, soil also contains other things. Perform the following activity to check this. Okay, along with the soil and water, something more also will be present in the soil itself. We shall see. Still what will be present, children? Soil will be there, sorry, air will be there, water will be there. Still what you just think? Now we shall see. See children, this is one more activity is there. I am reading it out. See, take some garden soil in a glass jar. Okay, they took some soil in the jar. Pour some water in the jar and close its lid. Okay, in the jar you pour some water and close the cap. Lid means nothing but cap. Okay, next, shake the jar well and let it stand undisturbed for some time. Okay, first what did I told? Pour some mud soil into the jar and close the lid or cap properly, and then shake it. Okay, you should shake the jar properly and you should keep the jar without disturbing for some time. After some time what will happen, we shall see. Now after some time you will notice that soil will separate into the different layers. Okay, first we have poured only soil, and in the soil we poured water, we shaked it for some time, and then we kept it like that without disturbing for some time. After some time this sand will change into these many parts. See, humus, clay, sand, gravel, all this it will be changed. How, what are all this, I will say now. See, this soil has changed into different layers. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers are there. What are all this, we shall see now. See, at the bottom means down. At the bottom is a layer of stones called gravel. Okay, in any soil some small stones will be there. First when you pour mud or soil into that, first what will happen, at the last bottom of the jar all the gravel will be formed. Gravel means nothing but stones. See, you can see now brown color it are there, round. These stones are only called as nothing but gravel. See, what is the spelling of the gravel? Gravel, gravel. Next, after the gravel, see, this is a gravel. Above the gravel is a layer of the sand. Sand means ushka antam kadana, that one. Okay, first down it is gravel. After gravel sand is there. See, this one, skin color, sand is there. Next, after sand what is there? This contains large particles of the soil. See, this sand will contain the many particles from the soil. Next one, above the sand is a layer of fine particles of soil called clay. Clay means what? You will play with clay, no? Bankamatti antam kada. Lord Ganesh, all this will be made. Many toys, playing things also will be made with the clay. In Telugu we call it as bankamatti. Yes or no? First gravel is there, that means small stones. Next sand is there, ushka. Next one is what? Clay. Clay means what I told for you? Bankamatti. After this what is there? You can see water is there. Next after water, at the top are floating parts of humus, that is dead plants and insects. Okay, top part is what now? Humus. Humus. I told you already about humus. Humus means what? Whatever all the plants and animals which are dead, it will be mixed with the soil, no, and those all will be coming and floating above on the upper layer of the water. So these are the different parts of the soil. If you want, you can do this experiment at your home also. Take one glass jar and pour some soil into it and pour some water on it and shake the jar properly for some time, and later keep it aside for some time. After keeping for some time, you will observe at the bottom, that means down, first layer is what? Gravel. Gravel means small stones. Next sand will be formed. After sand means ushka. After sand, clay will be there, bankamatti. Next water. On water this will be floating. Floating ante teladam. Okay na? What will be floating? Humus. Humus means all the dead plants and animals. Okay. And the next class I will continue the next part, that is types of soil. Okay. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel. Smart Study.